The nominees for the Game Awards have been officially revealed, and Jeff Keighley is under the microscope, not only because he wants to trademark the term the Game Awards, but because his nominees for Game of the Year, they include DLC. Yeah, Elden Ring DLC is one of the nominees for Game of the Year, and that's getting a lot of fucking attention, bad attention, because a lot of people are starting to call into question whether the ethics, the integrity of the whole Game Awards show is even there. Because let's be honest, it's a corporation, it's a corporate shill, it's a big commercial. It's basically pay to get good coverage. You're not going to be nominated. You're not going to have your world premiere. You're not going to have any kind of positive advertising or promotion during this event unless you pay for it. Right? It's literally commercial after commercial after commercial. It doesn't even matter about these awards. But it's also kind of disgusting to see just how I guess catered towards gamers that this whole award show has even become. Like, this is not about the gamers, and there's a whole bunch of awards categories here. There's even a player's voice section here, but the main thing that people want to talk about is this Game of the Year right here, where I showed you guys, they actually changed it to include DLC this year, which was kind of an unpopular opinion. So Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is nominated for a Game of the Year. You're telling me that they couldn't find a sixth game to put as a Game of the Year candidate? Even if you put Dragon Age Woke Failguard in here, to me that would have been more acceptable than putting a DLC. Or even, fuck it, toss in, like, I don't know, Silent Hill 2? Like, you didn't think to put that in there at all? Now, the other categories, okay, I don't give a shit. You know, they're basically just repeats. These 6 games right here were the ones that were nominated the most. They had several different categories that they were nominated in. So I guess maybe that's how they detected that it was Game of the Year candidates. But it's also a well-known fact that there's a jury of Access Media that control 90% of the vote for the Game Awards. And they hid them this year. There was no transparency on who they are, but it's usually outlets like Polygon, IGN, you name it. These big Access Media outlets where all these people are in on it together. There's a big circle jerk of gaming journalists that quid pro quo video game studios. If you don't think that's happening, you're mistaken. They, for a fact, offer positive coverage, lots of attention and promotion, and all sorts of other benefits in return for money. And if you don't think that's happening, you have no idea how journalism works. There's no integrity there anymore. It's all scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So some of these games have been nominated for Game of the Year. I don't have a problem with. Astrobot, cute. Is it a Game of the Year candidate? Potentially, but we all know it's going to be in the Family Game of the Year candidate. Probably win Family Game of the Year because I don't think Nintendo had anything really huge besides Zelda and Mario RPG and who knows what else. But I see Astrobot taking that. But it's good to see that it's up here. Now, Balatro, I have no clue about it. That's like the indie game of the Game of the Year candidates. And I mean, fucking It Takes Two won one year. And I think Stray also won a separate year. So maybe, if they always want to be artsy fartsy, which it seems like they want to do, and they want to help promote companies because there's some kind of like, again, backroom deal, that might happen. Now, Black Myth Wukong, we know that's not going to be Game of the Year. All these Access Medias that are going to be voting for 90% of control of the vote don't want this game to win. They've all shut it down. They all tried to say that it was a problem. They said things about game science, that they were a toxic masculine filled fucking studio. For it to even be on here is a surprise, in my opinion. For it to even be on here. Now, Elden Ring, the rules being made to include Elden Ring DLC leads me to believe that if this thing does win, then it's completely rigged in favor for that. Now, my choice was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is there. I want that game to win. I had fun with it. I know a lot of other people think there was padding and that the game didn't have much substance, but we'll see. And Metaphor, another game that sold millions of copies. So all of these on here are fair Game of the Year candidates, except the DLC. Now, why are they doing that? Why are they adding this on? Because the Game of the Year awards is not actually a Game of the Year. It's a, like I said, it's a commercial. It's a corporate shilling. It's a who paid the price. What studio kissed the most ass? Which game benefited Access Media the most? Again, you got to remember, these people are controlling 90% of the vote. Us voting, like we're able to sign in and vote here, we're only 10%. We almost don't count. And this Access Media, if you're paying attention to the gaming industry this last year, it's been a mess. Access Media has been terrible, especially journalists that are cosplaying as journalists when they're really political activists. If you call them out, if you call it their bad behavior, if you criticize them, they've done everything from contacting wives to doxing to basically targeting and writing hit pieces on YouTubers and content creators that are just giving their opinion. But for some reason, this Access Media controls 90% of the vote. They literally represent the voice of gaming on the biggest Game Awards show. Why? Can you explain why? I mean, look at their About page. The Game Awards recognizes and upholds creative and technical excellence in the global video game industry. We bring together a diverse group of developers, game players, and notable names from popular culture to celebrate and advance gaming's position as the most immersive, challenging, and inspiring form of entertainment. We strive to recognize those who improve the well-being of the community and elevate voices that represent the future of the medium. That's just all talk, all right? They really don't care about voices of gamers. If you're putting it behind Access Media, if you're having companies like IGN, Polygon, who knows this year. I saw somewhere on Twitter that they had the actual jury listed up there, but then it was hidden. So they're not even being transparent with who is controlling the majority of the vote. And a lot of people are giving Stuttering Craig a lot of crap for his Real Game Awards because you have to pay to be a voting member. But there's several reasons behind that. And sure, his award show isn't perfect either. But the main thing that it's concerned about is taking out Access Media, which is completely polar opposite of what the Game Awards is doing. Now, here's a category that I want to keep an eye on. This is Games for Impact, and this is basically the woke games category. This is where all the cringe, everything here, I mean, it literally says for thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. This is what they would want the Game Awards to be if they really could have this be all the Game of the Year candidates, which they won't. They still got to toe the line because they know they'll get backlash, and we can't have backlash, right? Even though we don't control 90% of the vote, our voices on social media will be heard. And you can see Closer the Distance, never heard of it. Indica, never heard of it. Neva, never heard of it. Life is Strange, Double Exposure. Senua Saga, Hellblade 2. And how the hell is Tales of Kinzara Zoo a candidate, a nominee? Didn't this game flop? That goes to show you that it's more about what studios have been part of the fucking fix. You know, Sweet Baby Inc. is involved with this game, Tales of Kinzara. So maybe Sweet Baby Inc. is in bed with the Game Awards. All right. You know, some of these categories, not too bad. You got the best ongoing thing, which is usually, you know, the same nominees every fucking year. Fortnite, yeah, Destiny. Yeah. I'm surprised Call of Duty ain't on there, but okay. Community support, same thing. A lot of these are same nominees over and over again. See, we see Balatro again. That was for Best Independent Game. Balatro will probably win Best Indie Game since it's in the Game of the Year candidates. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see Best Debut Indie Game again. Balatro will probably win that one just because it's a Game of the Year candidate. Best mobile game, again, Balatro is probably going to win every single thing that it's been nominated in, because that's just how it works, all right? Best action game. So you can see most of the games that have been nominated are the same ones. And that's also why there's a problem with DLC being accepted as a nominee, because that's a space that a brand new game that came out could have had. Where's Veilguard? Where's Silent Hill? There's Silent Hill 2 right there for Best Narrative. Okay, so that's one nomination when this could have been in there instead of Elden Ring DLC in the Game of the Year candidate. So the problem is I get it. A Game Award show, that's cool, that's fun, but it's more focused on the actual commercialization of it. Like all these nominees, half of these, when you're watching it, they zoom past them, or they don't even do a presentation for them. They'll just announce it like, oh, the best score and music winner and best indie direction, blah, 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 best audio design. Like they'll just skim through it briefly. Like you'll hear like the voiceover between commercials and stuff like that. They do very little presentation for some of these. It's almost like the awards themselves are the afterthought of the whole entire award show. If you really want to think about it, they're more focused on showing commercials, world premiere trailers, you name it, big announcements. It's basically E3 with little participation awards that are given by Access Media. If you're not in the club, you really don't have a voice or matter in this, and that's the real problem with it. And I've seen a lot of people voicing their concerns today in regards to this game award show, which, again, this has been around for a decade. I often don't even watch the video game awards. I kind of just tune out and take a look at the highlights of it, or I go ahead and take a look at, what's going on X. They do a good part, at least, putting on X, but I think they're getting torched. If you go and take a look at their Game of the Year nominations right here. Some people are saying awesome, blah, 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 amazing. Somebody said the Dorito Pope's the most ethical games journalist. Why Variety has been given 90% jury vote for Games Awards. What a clown show. So Variety is one of the people. Variety Magazine is not even a gaming outlet. I guess that category. Here we go. Nominating DLC is such a disgrace. It's called Game of the Year. Rebirth better win. DLC counts now. So I forget, can you play Elden Ring without owning Elden Ring? No. DLC nominated for GOTY. Very disappointing that Elden Ring was included in this category. It should not be in here. Helldivers 2 should have had that nomination. No Stellar Blade. I mean, Stellar Blade snubbed. Wasn't it like last year that Hogwarts Legacy was fucking snubbed? They didn't even have one nomination for Hogwarts Legacy, not even in the fan voting category. So that should tell you more than enough about this Game Awards show, in my opinion. And I always wanted to give Jeff Keighley benefit of a doubt originally, but again, business is business, right? Especially when you have something this huge, and it's basically the only game in town besides Summer Games Fest. It's going to be treated like a commercial, and unfortunately, that's the real problem with it. Now, is Stuttering Craig's Real Game Awards show going to become something that could be direct competition to this? Hopeful, that's well-wishing, right? But when you have a stranglehold of the game industry, the way that the Game Awards does, when you have Access Media that has such a controlling stronghold on the gaming industry as well, it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of competition. And it's almost like it's again, like I said, a club that we're not in. We don't have access. And I've seen journalists, actually just the other day, a journalist attacked me in Smash from Rolling Stone, saying that, his name is Chris Cruz, by the way. He's a senior gaming editor there. He said, we don't matter because we don't have access. That our opinions and all the content that we make is invalid because we don't have Access Media. That's how these guys think. All these journalists, it's like gatekeeping. We don't matter, guys, because me, you, whatever, if you make content, you give your opinion on a video game, if we don't have Access Media, we don't matter. And I've had Access Media in the past. I've gone to E3, gone to GameStop's conferences. I've gone to PAX. I've got, I've been part of Ubisoft's ambassadors, Nintendo ambassadors. It's all this quid pro quo crap where you have to give positive coverage in return for free stuff or monetary benefits. And it's all fake. It's all shilling. And that's ultimately what the Game Awards is as well. It's obvious that it's a shill, or else they wouldn't fucking just have the same nominees in every single fucking category, and a secret little Illuminati panel of a jury that's going to control 90% of the vote. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care.